History is not just about the past, it is about understanding the cycles of life. These words capture the spirit of Ibn Khaldun, one of the greatest minds of the Islamic Golden Age. Born in 1332 in Tunis, Ibn Khaldun lived during a turbulent era filled with wars, plagues, and the rise and fall of dynasties. He was not only a historian but also a judge, diplomat, and philosopher who experienced firsthand the chaos of political life. His most influential work, Al-Muqaddimah, often called the Introduction to History, went beyond simple events and battles. Instead, he asked deeper questions. Why do civilizations rise? Why do they fall? What forces shape human societies? Ibn Khaldun introduced the idea of social cohesion, or asabiyya, explaining that groups bound by strong unity and purpose grow powerful. But as wealth and luxury increase, they often grow weak and collapse. This cycle of strength, decay, and renewal, he argued, repeats throughout history. Modern scholars, from Arnold Toynbee to contemporary sociologists, have praised Ibn Khaldun as a genius centuries ahead of his time. Beyond history, he wrote on economics, political science, and human behavior. He noticed how taxes, trade, and labor shaped societies long before modern economics was born. He observed how religion could unify tribes and nations, but also how corruption and greed could tear them apart. Despite living over 600 years ago, his ideas still explain much of what we see in our world today. From the rise of empires to the collapse of governments, from social unrest to cultural renewal, his life itself was as dramatic as his theories. Moving between courts of rulers, being imprisoned at times, and eventually serving as a chief judge in Cairo. In this video we'll explore the life and ideas of a man whose thoughts transcend time, a man who saw history not as a tale of kings and conquests, but as a story of humanity, of its struggles, its achievements, and its endless capacity for renewal. Join me as we journey back to the heart of the Islamic Golden Age and uncover the wisdom of a man who dared to ask why, because in his wisdom, he found the key to understanding not only the past, but the very essence of human progress. The story of the historian who saw history's cycles. The year is 1332 and the place is Tunis, a city bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. It is here that our story begins, the story of a man who would change the way we look at history itself. Born into a family of scholars, young Ibrahim was destined for greatness. But little did anyone know the kind of impact he would have on the world. His early life was a tapestry of scholarship, weaving together the threads of knowledge that would later form the fabric of his brilliance. As he grew, so did his thirst for knowledge, leading him to become a judge, a diplomat, and finally, a historian. But it was his experiences, his life's journey, that truly shaped him. He saw firsthand the ups and downs of power, the highs of triumph, and the lows of defeat. And through it all, he questioned, he observed, and he learned. One of his most fascinating works, the Muqaddimah, or Introduction to History, wasn't just a record of events. It was a revelation. He didn't just write about what happened, he delved into the why and the how, the motivations, the forces, and the patterns that drive human societies. In this groundbreaking work, he introduced the concept of asabiyya, a term that might seem complex, but in essence means social cohesion. It's the glue that holds a society together, the sense of unity, purpose, and solidarity that drives people to work together to achieve common goals. But he didn't stop there. He saw how this force, this asabiyya, waxes and wanes, how it can be a society's strength and its weakness. According to Ibn Khaldun, every society starts as a small group of people bound together by strong bonds of kinship and loyalty. They work together, they strive together, and they grow. Their collective effort leads to prosperity and expansion. But as their wealth increases, so does their luxury and comfort. And with that, their sense of unity begins to fade. People become more concerned with their individual interests, with personal gain and material possessions. And as this trend continues, the society's foundation weakens. Conflicts arise, rivalries grow, and eventually, the society collapses. But here's the fascinating part, and perhaps the most important lesson from Ibn Khaldun. He believed that this cycle isn't a one-time occurrence. It's a pattern that repeats itself over and over again in human history. Every great civilization, every flourishing society goes through this cycle of growth, decay, and decline. It's a sobering thought, but it's also a hopeful one. For Ibn Khaldun, each decline is also a prelude to renewal. As one cycle ends, another begins. A new group emerges, driven by a new sense of unity and purpose, and the cycle of growth starts anew. This idea of cyclical renewal is a cornerstone of understanding, not just history, but human progress. It reminds us that no society is static, that change is the only constant. And it gives us a framework to analyze the rise and fall of civilizations, including our own, the legacy of a thinker whose ideas transcend time. Now let us fast forward through the corridors of time and bring Ibn Khaldun's ideas into the light of the 21st century. Why should we, people living in a completely different time, care about the ideas of a historian from the 14th century? The answer, my friends, lies in the timeless nature of his thinking. You see, Ibn Khaldun wasn't just a product of his time. He was a thinker who delved into the fundamental questions about human society, about power, about wealth, and about change. His ideas didn't belong to a specific era. They belong to all of us who seek to understand the complexities of human existence. Let's take, for example, his observations on the role of religion in society. He saw how religious ideas could inspire and unite people, but also how they could be manipulated to control and exploit. He recognized the power of faith, but also its potential pitfalls. Sound familiar? In our world today, where religious sentiments are often used to both inspire great acts of charity and incite violence and hatred, Ibn Khaldun's insights seem almost prophetic. Then there's his work on economics. Long before the field of economics was formalized, Ibn Khaldun was observing and analyzing the economic forces that drive our world. He talked about how trade routes shape societies, how the distribution of resources influences power, and how innovation drives economic growth. In a world grappling with global trade imbalances and the impact of technology on jobs, his ideas offer a fresh perspective. A reminder that economics isn't just about numbers and charts, but about the real people and communities it affects. And let's not forget his ideas on social cohesion, that elusive sense of community and unity that holds societies together. In an era marked by increasing polarization and division, his insights offer a beacon. He showed how societies rise and fall based on their ability to maintain this cohesion, to balance individual interests with the common good. His ideas challenge us to find ways to bridge divides, to build a sense of shared identity and purpose in an increasingly fragmented world. The brilliance of Ibn Khaldun lies in his ability to cut through the complexities of history, to find the patterns, the trends, and the driving forces that shape human progress. His ideas weren't confined to his time. They're a timeless guide, a roadmap to understanding not just our past, but our present and our future. As we navigate the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century, Ibn Khaldun's voice echoes in our ears, reminding us that history isn't just about what happened yesterday. It's about understanding the cycles of life, the ebb and flow of societies, and the enduring spirit of human renewal. His life and work serve as a testament to the power of curiosity, the pursuit of knowledge, and the courage to challenge conventional thinking. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, his ideas offer a source of clarity, a framework for understanding, and above all, a call to action. In the words of the great man himself, history is a mirror showing us not only who we were, but who we are becoming. Let us then look into this mirror not with a sense of complacency, but with a determination to shape our future too. Build on the lessons of the past and create a better world for ourselves and for generations to come. Thank you.